Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Sammaz and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Welcome everyone. Let's start the press conference. Please, questions in English.
Jannick, thank you. Congratulations. This afternoon, did you play the match of your life? And what did it feel like playing that match?
Match of my life, I don't know, but it's for sure very, very important. As I say, it helps a lot the last competition that is a team competition, and because you get a lot of energy from your teammates, from the whole team, and then the crowd is different. And I really enjoyed playing today. It was a great match. I started off really well, and obviously in the second set he raised his level, and the third set I just tried to hold my service games and waiting for a good opportunity, which arrived on 5-all, and I took it. And obviously it was a very crucial match for the whole team. And at the end of the match, I was really happy for the team to be at least able to play a deciding doubles, and we played really good, and I think it was a really positive day today.
Jannick, I just wanted to ask you about the 3 match points that you saved at 4-5 in the third set in the singles. Can you just talk us through what was going through your head? How did you remain calm in those moments, and what were you trying to do in each of those points?
I know that it was a really important, obviously, important game. We changed not for so long for new balls, so I knew if I'm gonna serve well that maybe I have some free points. But I had to stay in the present moment. It was love 40 and he missed a quite easy backhand, which gave me a little bit of confidence and belief, and then after I served twice really good. And nothing, after this kind of games, your energy level and then mental level, it's racing, and I think this helped me today.
Jannick, over here. I'm not sure anyone else can maybe say they've beaten Novak Djokovic twice in one afternoon. What does that achievement mean to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. Obviously, before the match, we were talking that it was a really important test today. Trying to understand what to expect before the match, and then I think we made a good tactical moment also before the match, and obviously playing it is a little bit different, but I think I have to be really proud about how I handled the situation. And as I said, I'm just very happy for all of us, for the team, and tomorrow we have a great opportunity. We know this, but in the other way we will try to stay as relaxed as possible, keeping the smile in our head, which is important also, and then also to be happy to be here. It's not so many. For me, it's the first time that we can play a final in Davis Cup, which it means a lot for us.
One last question in English.
Jannick, Just looking forward to the final, and to the other guys, please, as well. Apparently, the Australian team that you're facing in the final, you'll be playing De Menor, presumably, in the second match, and you've got this extraordinary hold over him. I think he's only going to take one set off you. How much of an advantage do you think that is for you, and what confidence does that give you?
Well, we don't know who is gonna play.
Se ti faccio giocare.
Yeah, we have to decide. We have to. You know, I have a lot of hours in my leg. This I know. If I play against him, it's gonna be different. You know, finals, as I said, it's always different. But let's see. It's his decision. He's the captain of the team, and so he can answer you that.
What do you say?
Thanks, Jannick. No, obviously it's our point of power. Jannick give us a lot of energy, give us a lot of confidence in ourselves. Obviously, he's a great player, but he's not only a great player. So he's a great person. That's what I like. So yeah, he's probably in the first position to play tomorrow.
What do you think of the Australian team?
Strong, different. Different from Serbians. Maybe closer than Netherlands as singles and doubles. But still, we have to take care of us, thinking about tomorrow, enjoying today, but focus for tomorrow. So head to tomorrow.
We switch into Italian. Per favore, domande in Italian.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.
Ready? Play.
My mic is muted, Miles David. Somebody muted me. I muted myself. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I wish I could stay for the entire duration of this stream, but I have just been yanked by the ear to go to a dinner at Chili's, of all places. Do you know about Chili's, John?
No, this is you're foisting. Do you know the word? You have the verb to foist.
No.
To sort of push. I've seen it in some US TV shows. Anyway, you're foisting a word or a chain, I should say, onto me that I'm not familiar with.
It is a chain. It's extremely popular in the States. But yeah, it's like a Applebee's, which is synonymous with Cincinnati. But Applebee's and Chili's are very linked as far as comfort chains, I guess.
Miles, I presume you will be having a phone with a screen on it and you can watch tennis whilst having your dinner?
Yeah, but I feel two ways about it.
Well, I mean, you mean, is it a bit rude, or I mean,
not really. It's just family, but yeah, it is a bit rude, I guess. But
I mean,
also,
I'd be okay. Miles, if you were into basketball, for example, I get it because I'm a sports fan. So, you know, you've got two options, Miles. You can I can force you to not watch that particular sporting event and make me your attention. But then, Miles, all you're going to be thinking about is, how is Francis doing right now? Or how is your particular basketball team doing, or whatever. So I'd rather have a happy Miles.
Hey, I'd be happy too, but I'm gonna be not a happy Miles if I turn on the screen and Francis is not winning. And I feel like that happens when a player I really want to win. I like when I'm invested in them and I turn on the screen and they're not winning, I somehow feel like it's my fault because I'm either watching or not watching. So
I remember watching live scores of Nadal against it wasn't even a big match. It was the one in Washington about 3 years ago against Lloyd Harris. And I like Lloyd. I've met him.
That was at Cincinnati, wasn't it?
No, Washington.
Oh, Washington.
When he was limping, when Nadal was kind of limping around the tournament, but that particular match as well. And listen, Lloyd played fantastically well that day and almost certainly deserved the win. But I just remember watching that one on Google, basically looking at the scores tick over. And when you're watching your favorite player or the player that you're supporting facing a match point, you're just waiting for that dreaded tick over to match done, basically. So it goes from, let's say it's 6-4 and it's 5-4, 40-30, you know, against your player. And then you're just hoping for anything. In a way, as long as it stays 40-30, that's kind of okay. What you're dreading is when it just ticks over to, you know, 6-4, 6-4, done.
I hope that's not the final score tonight.
Well, if it's in France,
if it happens, it happens.
What are the paths to victory? I think one of the last messages in the live chat for the previous match, you know, paths to victory comes to mind because there is one kind of path to victory for Francis today. And I think I said it earlier in the live chat, as I said, which is to sort of make this physical, to make it go long. Jannick has traditionally throughout his career had issues in those kind of scenarios. And I know he won the Australian Open with a 5-set final win, but that was over a Daniel Medvedev who'd played.
Who was also winded, yeah.
Yeah, that's a masterpiece of understatement. So anyway, that's an obvious path to victory for Francis, right?
Yeah, I think the longer he keeps Sinner out there, the longer Sinner is doing the thing he's kind of been doing all week, which is kind of like, you know, finagling with his hip, then yeah, Tiafoe's chances of winning go up a little bit, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to overcome Sinner from the ground, especially a Sinner that's dialed in. When was the last time Sinner lost the final?
Probably, I mean, the ATP finals final match, if you like, against Novak, but an actual sort of, what's the word? Not main tour, but, you know, an actual final. I mean, I'm thinking about a run of finals where he's won, for example, Medvedev in Tokyo, maybe last year.
He beat Medvedev in Beijing, which also happened in Vienna.
Sorry,
yeah. And then finals of Turin, and he lost to Djokovic. I don't think he's lost a final this year he's been in.
No, not this year. No, not this. When he's fallen short, he's either been injured or he's gone out, for example, in the quarters to Medvedev at Wimbledon, semis of Monte Carlo to Tsitsipas, I think it was. Yeah, it's a tall order. I find it a little tricky to imagine a Tiafoe win, but it would be pretty special, right?
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, I'm like, as somebody who's invested in Francis and has kind of seen him turn into a more professional top 30, top 10 player, I definitely see the improvements, but I also can't be like oblivious to how good of a tennis player Jannick Sinner is. So I'm hoping that Jannick Sinner is a 100% A+++ today, and hopefully Tiafoe plays his best. Because I mean, tennis is fleeting. Who knows if Francis is going to get an opportunity to play for a title as big as this? So I want him to use the opportunity and put himself in an opportunity to actually have a moment to be successful in this match. I would hate for it to be a rout, but I mean, you know, it's sports. it's sports. And I do also think another path to victory is Francis somehow utilizing the crowd's energy, but also Jannick Sinner is a perfect proponent for like amazing tennis rallies, like those tennis rallies that we've seen him play against Alcaraz in Miami, and just one I think he like rolled over on the ground against Rublev this week in Cincinnati. He comes out the winner of those, so like the crowd might actually be cheering for him if these points really become athletic and kind of super cheeky and cat and mouse. So I don't know. The more I talk about it, the more I'm like, this definitely feels like Sinner's match to lose, but they have to string up the shoes and go out there and swing. So we will see what happens.
Both Tiafoe and Sinner had pretty dramatic semifinals.
Oh yeah,
I wasn't able to see Francis's semifinal win over Rune. So tell me your thoughts on that.
I only watched it. I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay.
I think I may have watched a handful of points, but that's why I feel conflicted watching this one, because I was like, he did so well in the semifinal without me really watching large chunks of that match. So, but I did watch his match against Musetti and his match in the quarterfinal, or the first set he played in the quarterfinal against Hubie Hurkacz. Hurkacz was obviously not 100%, but he's looked incrementally better since Wimbledon, outside of his loss to Nishioka, I believe, in Atlanta.
Yeah, the Wimbledon was sort of the first bright moment for me. And by the way, correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm calling you Francis then. It'd be great if Francis was on the show right now while he was doing his serves.
I can hear him reciting the friend of the show thing. I can hear it.
Yeah, first glass of wine in, so we'll see how many errors I make over the next couple of hours. But yeah, the Wimbledon for me was a real bright spark. I know it was a 5-set loss to Carlos. I mean, nobody pushed Carlos probably as much as Francis did at Wimbledon this year, and he was 2-1 up. But that I took a lot of like, there's a lot of heart to be taken from that, bearing in mind the previous 9 months. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, he did reach an ATP final in Houston, but again, that wasn't a stacked field, and he ultimately came up short against Ben Shelton. And then I think the semifinals in Delray Beach the week or so before that. So it's been the bulb has been not bright. So that Wimbledon match, although I would have liked it to be turned into a W, that was the brightest moment of his summer and season so far. And I think he's used that in stride, especially right off the heels, or especially that Wimbledon match coming right off the heels of one of the rare times, knock on wood, I can think of Francis actually injuring himself, obviously, on court, because he had a really nasty slip at Eastbourne. So I think he sprained the MCL or something like that in his lower extremity. So that Wimbledon push was actually kind of surprising. I didn't really have high expectations for him, nor did I really have many for the hard court swing, because this season hasn't been wonderful. But things could change here.
Is it too casual, too easy to go for a narrative which I've kind of signed up to, which was the fact that match against Ben Shelton last year, which felt like a 50-50, felt like they were both riding a crest of a wave. I mean, Francis's crest had been probably, continuing for about a year from the previous year's US Open, when he had a marvelous run to the semis. And yet that match sort of seemed to be a line in the sand, or a turning point for Francis in terms of his form just plummeting afterwards. Or is that just too easy to just look at that match?
No, I think it is easy, because he referenced it after his semifinal win. He said he basically hasn't won 4 matches in a row since his quarterfinal run to the US Open last year. And he's felt a difference on the court. He tried to mix things up with a new coach in Diego Moyano. That didn't last very long, and now he has a new coach with David Witt, who typically has a track record of staying longer or having longer stints with players. So we'll see how long
except Maria Sakkari. I think he was with her for about 6 or 8 weeks or something.
Yeah, that's the outlier. But I mean, with Pegula and even
Venus, I'm not blaming David Witt for that. Probably.
Poor Sakkari. I don't know if any other tennis content entities really give it to her as much as we do, kind of, sort of. But I mean, she sets herself up for it sometimes.
By the way, Miles, I don't think we've had a Hall of Fame journalist in the chat before, but courtesy of your Twitter page, we do have one right now.
Yes, Mr. Richard Evans. I actually watched a bit of Richard get what's the correct verbiage here? Inducted into the Hall of Fame. I watched that.
Not indicted. That would be a because I was thinking of the word indicted, but I'm glad you said inducted.
He's not indicted.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's a great journalist, and thanks Richard for dropping by into the space. But I agree, Sinner is the favorite on paper and in tennis terms. But you know, things like I've said a couple times already, things can get tricky when you're actually out there, and magic can kind of brew itself, especially in Francis' career so far. Like all of his titles except one are on U.S. soil, and a lot of his other big breakthroughs have been on U.S. soil. So
Francis just had a break point as well, and it was a second serve, and it was pretty attackable, I would say. And Francis put it, unfortunately, return into the net. And it now reminds me of something I just saw at Challenger level a couple of weeks ago here in Germany, but I don't think it matters whether it's Challenger level or 1000 level. Sometimes you can get these, maybe not so much when you're the underdog against Jannick, but particularly when it's the other way around, you can sometimes think, oh, it's okay, I'll get another break point soon. And then before you know it, an hour and a half later, you've lost in straight sets. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you know, as a fan as well, but certainly as a player, as I see Jannick put a nice volley away at the net. Sometimes as a player, you get those opportunities particularly in the opening game, and they come and go, but you're like, it's okay. There'll be more breakpoint. If I can create 3 breakpoint opportunities in the first game, I'm sure I'll be able to create plenty more. But sometimes, matches can very quickly get away from you. I don't want to put a damper on that.
I agree. I definitely agree. And I've seen Francis be the victim of that. Like, in matches that she should have won on paper, not really come out as ignited and engaged as he should have. And before you know it, you're like, oh, well, he dropped that first 3 games because he really wasn't into it. But that gives your opponent momentum. So,
yeah. Jannick is held for 1 love, 4 minutes on the clock. I remember pretty much a year ago to the day. Of course, it was on a Sunday night as opposed to Monday because not being Olympic year, but the final from last year where the conditions at times were pretty brutal in terms of heat. And then, of course, they did drop. But I don't know if that'll be a factor tonight. It does seem to be a little cooler than even other stages this week. We've seen various moments. I think there was a match either yesterday or the day before where it just came up on my screen. I had the volume down. It just said heat level warning or heat level, meaning I just saw a picture. I think it was Mira Andreeva because she was just probably her match with Iga, and they were just both sitting down for, I don't know, some minutes while they waited for somehow the temperature to cool.
Yeah, I always, as somebody who grew up in I shouldn't say real Southern, but Southern United States in Louisiana, it's always funny to me when I look at heat indexes of other places and they're like, oh my God, it's sweltering out here. I'm like, just sit in the French Quarter for like 15 minutes. I promise you would be better off in Mason, Ohio than in deep New Orleans. But it's still hot regardless, I guess. But it says 75 degrees in Mason, Ohio, which honestly, I guess because of the context of which I grew up playing tennis, that sounds like a great day for tennis. It sounds way better than 95 degrees, which is the harsh reality most days. But if that does become a factor, I wonder if that's going to affect Sinner more so than Tiafoe. You would think it would, that it would affect, that hot, sticky conditions would affect Sinner more than Tiafoe, just because we've seen larger evidence of Sinner being susceptible to stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah. The other thing is, I don't know, just because I'm looking at the shadow on the court right now, I get probably a year ago it started a little bit earlier, the final. I don't know, because it feels like there's a lot more shadow. I remember that final between Carlos and Novak a year ago, and the first set or so, it was baked in sunshine, but maybe they're starting a fraction later, and that may well be the difference. The sunshine on the court, by the way, this year, I hadn't noticed it in other years. So whether the camera's at a different angle or the sun is at a particular point in the sky or something has been going on at this year's Cincinnati tournament, that basically matches around about lunchtime in particular have been quite tricky to watch, right?
Yeah, they have, and I'm not sure why they have
Yeah.
adjusted the camera angle over the years. Because I was just
Is
watching.
that what you think it is? An adjustment on the camera angle?
Oh yeah, it is. Because I just watched some highlights of 2013, 2014, and the camera angle was perfect regardless of what the sun was doing. But it seemed, I want to say 2018. I remember this because the WTA final that year was Halep versus Kiki Bertens, and it was, the camera angle was awful, like awful, regardless of what the conditions were. And it's kind of, that's been the outlier, but since then the camera angle hasn't gotten quite correct, especially in the daytime, because it's hard to see the ball. But some people in our chat don't seem to matter or don't seem to care about watching the ball in tennis.
Okay, what makes you say that? Oh, the shadow saved Novak, I think.
No, I think Nerlin asked, why do I need to see the ball so much yesterday in the chat.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. Yeah. Nerlan and his left field comments. Yeah, the shadow certainly was a thing. Yeah, no worries, Miles. You're with us until it sounds like about 1:30. But the shadow certainly was an issue, or the dropping temperature, and Novak highlighted that, I think, after the match, suggesting that those temperatures certainly worked in his favor, and especially as he was struggling at various points in the first set and a bit of that match. As I see Jannick looking pretty comfortable here on serve, and it's a miss hit there from Tiafoe, and it is 2-1. So listen, I think as well, Miles, that whatever sort of if we sort of not preempting a loss here, or making a loss okay, because a loss, if you're a player, you never want to lose a tennis match, but if Francis was to lose this match in 3 tight sets in particular, there's still a lot of good stuff that we can look at from this tournament and that run at Wimbledon that I just highlighted as well, and just go, you know what, there's something to cling on to here for a positive US Open for Francis.
Yeah, I think it'll be, if he is able to frame it, regardless of what happens, getting to your first Masters 1000 final is something to hang your head on, especially amidst the season he's been having. But I have to say that I'd much rather him be kind of outplayed thoroughly. Not saying I want to see like a 6-1, 6-2 drubbing, but I'd rather him be comfortably outplayed by a margin than be within a sniff of winning. Because that's kind of what happened at the US Open in 2022. And like he kept some of the momentum from that, but it didn't really it propelled him because he got to 10 in the world. But I feel like when he got to 10 in the world, it just kind of I don't know, it being almost there, but not actually grabbing the trophy set him back a little bit. I think he's done well to get back on track, but I think it did set him back just because I think of the kind of emotional player he is, to be so close to something that you've always wanted and not get it just stings, especially if you're a kind of emotionally driven person like Francis is. So I'd much rather him be beat by a comfortable distance than almost have it. And again, I'm invested in him, so that would suck to be like, oh, he almost had it and didn't have it. Because again, tennis can be fleeting. A lot of the guys that made those super big breakthroughs at Masters 1000s, like Carreño Busta, Cam Norrie, Borna Coric, even the Cincinnati champion, they haven't been back to Masters 1000 finals since. So you really have to grab it when it's in front of you.
Yeah, I think probably I would put Francis slightly ahead of those players. Maybe Coric. There's a lot of natural talent there, but I might be a bit more optimistic about Francis, as I see Sinner take a love 30 lead here on the Francis serve. Yeah, I partly because of age as well, particularly compared to both those players you just highlighted, but probably also in terms of talent. I think I get the impression that Francis can be in another 1000 final again reasonably soon. But yeah,
that is so optimistic of you, John. I'm
not an optimistic person. I would put myself somewhere between realistic and pessimistic sometimes.
I know that about you, but that also gives me insight into your level of consistency in watching Tiafoe matches. Because if you were more on the consistent side and watching Tiafoe matches like me, you would realize that this is an opportunity he may want to grab with 2 hands, because he can ebb and flow. And I mean, he's only been to the semifinals or better at 2 Masters 1000s in his career. So that's a lot of data that shows that he doesn't even make it to the business end. And if you watch him often enough, you know he can put in some clunkers, unfortunately. Like, that's not to be down on him, but that's just the reality of the situation. He can go through spells where it's like, oh, Tiafoe, are you even invested? You know, it can kind of be head scratching. So that's why I want him to at least put his best foot forward in this match and see what happens.
Confidence player, is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. Confidence player. Yeah. If sometimes it can turn on, because even this week here, he didn't, his defeat in Canada, I think, was to Alejandro Tabilo. So I mean, it doesn't give you.
That was that the one where there was a dodgy umpiring decision in Canada?
I think there was a dodgy I think it was Canada,
where it was from our friend who was also the umpire for the Jack Draper match, right?
Yeah. I can't think of his name. Maybe is that Arlington? Allingsworth? Gotcha.
Something like that. Yeah. But so there was that. But Tabilo, I think I saw bits of that match, although the controversial moment, I think I was away from the screen at that point, as can happen in tennis. But I like Tabilo. By the way, it's a lovely forehand winner there from Francis to get himself out of a bit of a hole at love 30. Yeah, I like Tabilo a lot, by the way, and I think he turned it on at times in that match, and it can happen, and Tabilo can be so quick around the court. I mean, I know Francis can as well, but yeah, I just that point, I think that match was about 10 days ago. That result didn't surprise me, but
see, that's the thing. Like, I mean, that I don't know, like, depending on where you kind of view Francis in the matrix of ATP.
Well, I certainly don't view him in a lesser light than I do Popyrin, for example, as much as I like Popyrin and the win he had last week.
Would you say that Francis Tiafoe is a better player than Popyrin?
Probably, yeah. That when Francis is delivering and we often talk about ceilings in tennis, and the tennis that Francis was playing in that US Open run of 2022, which was definitely top 10 tennis. Probably even in that particular run on a hard court, you'd probably say top 5. I mean, he was top 4 at the tournament, if you like. But yeah, I just think that the thing is, you've also, as you say, you've probably got a strike. Popyrin struck when there was no Novak and there was no Carlos and a coming back to the tour in terms of health and form, Jannick. I guess you've got to strike in that moment. And he did. Cam Norris struck when he struck, at that tournament when I think there was basically no one there. And yeah, fair play.
That's exactly why I want Francis Tiafoe to make good on his opportunity. So I'm stuck in between a rock and a hard place.
Still not completely, still got to beat the world number 1. So
yeah, but it's a mighty tall window in front of him in this match, just in this final alone. But we've seen in the last 2 or 3 years, I've seen some guys lift big titles that I just did not see happening. And it kind of reminds me, it makes me feel better, actually, because I've always had an idea that this is what the ATP tour would look like once we subtract the big 3. And I mean, results wise, maybe it's a stretch to think that like a lot of the players winning Masters 1000s are going to be Grand Slam champions, but that's kind of how people have viewed the WTA. Anybody's game on a hot streak of 2 weeks can lift a big trophy. And, there's evidence to show that it's trending towards a little bit more of that than it ever has been in the last 25 years on the ATP tour, which I'm not mad at.
Well, we are on serve, so nothing crazy has happened in the short period that you have been here, Miles, but I do believe you have to sail off towards some Chili's or something. The name of the brand. What's it called? Chili's,
and more specifically, I think I'm going to order some chicken crispers, because those that know about chicken crispers.
There you go. Are you a spicy? Because chili sounds pretty spicy to me. Is it a spicy dish? And
yeah, I love spice. I'm from New Orleans, which, to answer a question somebody put in the chat, no one from Louisiana or New Orleans proper or adjacent says Nolans. Nobody says that.
Oh yeah, I saw that earlier. Yeah.
Nobody says that.
All right, Miles, big thanks for coming on board today, and we'll cross paths very soon, undoubtedly.
Of course. Thanks, John. Talk to you soon.
Cheers,
Bye,
Miles.
everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye. So, as Miles heads off to a tasty dinner, you have got me, a glass of wine, and this particular Cincinnati final. I see Keen highlighting the comment that Tiafoe made recently. I agree personally. I know that other people have defended Francis on this. I thought that was a bit disappointing, but you know, we can hone in on 100 comments from every player, and probably there will be a couple there that we would not necessarily agree with. And personally, I don't agree with Francis on that take. I know that other people were more defensive of Francis. I know Gil Gross, for example, certainly thought that Francis's comments were harshly dealt with. But yeah, I didn't like the way they sounded either. However, personally, I can see 100 comments from players and say, you know what, 2 or 3 times they said things I don't agree with. And yeah, I don't know what you think about. What's your favorite player? Tomic. There was some controversy regarding Tomic Keen in the last 24 hours. Anyway, love 15 here on the Francis serve. My commentary, I know, is marginally behind the scoreboard. So what I will do is in between games, I will come back to the live chat as I see a forehand slice here from Jannick, and now a backhand down the line goes long, and it's 15 all. Yes, I am just uploading as well an interview that I have just conducted with the voice of the US Open. And I'm going to be uploading that pretty much now. So that is something for you to look forward to. Okay, let's get that upline, shall we? Anyway, Francis Tiafoe here, 30-15 on his serve, 2-3. Goes out wide, and that's an ace, I believe, 40-15. We've had a bit of pressure on both players' serve thus far, where we had Jannick facing a break point in the opening game. We also had Francis, I think, was down love 30 in his previous service game. Coming into the net here, is he going to pick up that volley well enough? Oh, he did. And then Jannick gave him another shot, very much one that he should have put away, but he didn't. He stuck it into the net. So it's 40-30. And if Francis was to go on to lose his serve here, I think that'll be the shot that he remembers most, because basically he'll be putting that away in his sleep more often than not. Anyway, still got another bite of the cherry here at 40-30, because long on the first serve, which was into the body. Now it's going to be a backhand return. Bit of a kick there from Francis. Slice here from Jannick. It's a good slice, I would suggest. Right now they're at neutral. Jannick tries to change direction. Doesn't work. And it is game Tiafoe, 3-all. Oh, maybe the coaching addition of David Witt is helping Francis somewhat. Let's have a quick look at the live chat. I'm sure Keen is going to be responding to my Tomic comments for sure. Search Tomic on Twitter is training. Supposedly no one has ever done it before. He swayed the stayed at the venue. Okay, so yeah, what do we think about that? Is that disrespectful, Keen? Discuss. Fun fact here from Super Dave: most ATP players are afraid of clowns, so they certainly can't be clowns. That's an interesting one. Big up Super Dave, says Brazy. Well, I think we can all be on board with that. Yeah, it does sound very funny. Yeah, 3 game points already here for Jannick, so he's now getting into the groove on his serve. Just a reminder as well of the head-to-head between these two players: 3-1 in Jannick's favor after wins at the in Antwerp at the Next Gen finals. How about that? Next Gen finals. And also much more recently in Vienna. But Vienna is also the location where Francis got his one and only win, albeit he needed 3 sets to do so. And I think they've only ever played on indoor hard until now. So all 4 matches coming on indoor hard. And yeah, obviously now we've got outdoor hard, but we've yet to have one on grass or clay. Although probably on clay, you'd have to fancy Jannick even more strongly. Jannick goes down the tee here at 40 love, but it's gone wide. So second serve for Francis. Coming in on this one, but I don't think he's dealt with that very well. No, he hasn't. It's 4-3 now. Okay, yes, obviously a football reference, Keen. Oh, by the way, I don't even know how Tottenham and Leicester got on today. 1-1. 1-1. Oh, Jamie Vardy getting on the score sheet. Blast from the past there. I do not get the love for amongst the media for Tottenham. Thanks, Brazy. Brazy, are you in the US or the UK, or where are you based? But yeah, I don't get the media loving for Tottenham. They were going nuts about Spurs for the first 3 or 4 weeks of the last season. Oh, okay, Brazy. And you're from the US as well, are you? You're based in Atlanta. Are you from the US too? Because I love, you're sounding like a Brit in terms of Spurs being Spursy. Yeah, don't get the media loving for Spurs at all. It's obviously something's going on there because so you're based in Atlanta and you're from Atlanta, Brazy? I think that's what you're saying yes to. Yeah, I don't get it because they just did what Spurs always do last season. But their manager has escaped the wrath of the British media. Anyway, back to the tennis. Great to have Jack, by the way, tuning in on Instagram. Lovely to see you here. Yeah, and all the others, make sure you hit the like button. And of course, if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe as we head inexorably towards 10,000 subscribers. Do you like that? Inexorably. Francis Tiafoe has won his first point on his serve at 3-4. Is he heading inexorably towards leveling it up at 4-all? Let's find out. 24 minutes on the clock. Goes into the body there of Francis. That does seem to be a tactic that I've seen a few times already today. And that time it worked very well. 30 love. I wonder if that's David Witt saying, go to the body of Jannick. I don't think it'll go to the body this time. No, he doesn't. Goes to the forehand, but he's going to do a serve volley. That's another thing I've seen Francis do a few times today, although he doesn't need to put the volley away because Jannick has sprung or has sprayed his forehand wide, and it's 3 game points for Francis Tiafoe as he heads inexorably towards 4-all. Or does he head inexorably towards 4-all? We don't know. Puts the first serve into the net, so a second serve here for Jannick to look at. Goes out wide. It's going to be a fairly comfortable backhand return. And in fact, it's a good backhand return. Puts Francis in all sorts of trouble. And he's unable to deal with it, dumping his backhand into the net, 40-15. Oh, I've got the football still. I should share the actual tennis score. Jannick goes long, so it is a hold for Francis Tiafoe. Over to you, Jannick Sinner. I think their coverage, Keen, is pretty new. And they've got the Spurs fan. I can't remember his name right now. He's sort of heading it up. You mean the Athletic, the website and whatever. Yeah, I think he's heading it up. So... nice guy. I can't remember his name right now. Nice guy. Appears on the tennis podcast from time to time. Spurs fan. I guess he's probably still learning a bit on the job, though. I think he's predominantly a football journalist, although I know he has dipped into tennis in the past. But he probably doesn't know quite as much about tennis as you do, Keen. That's for sure. Brazy here, mocking bigger hands. Yeah. Well, they might win. He might win Manager of the Month if the media have anything to do with it. Are you sure it's the guy who hosts football? Yeah, Charlie Eccleshare. That's the guy. Yeah. But I don't think you're going to get the same level of quality as you get on Talking Tennis, Keen. About time I had a shave. I had a shave for a while. I keep meaning to, but time is short. Time is short. Anyway, time is short maybe towards the end of this first set here. It's 15 all. Jannick to serve. Goes out wide, but long and wide. This time into the body, but Francis runs around that. Now, it's 15 all here, so this is a pretty important point. But it's an excellent backhand from Jannick, but unbelievably well dealt with by Francis. So much depth on that from such a difficult position. And it is 15-30. David Witt there pointing to the ground like, come on, now is the time to strike, my friend. They're calling that an unforced error, I think, from Jannick, suggesting he's made 10 so far in the match. Just 2 off the racket of Francis. But I don't know, is that not a forced error? Mind you, Jannick aces it, so we're at 30 all. Some Forza signs there for Jannick in the crowd. $30 all. That's 7 aces already for Jannick Sinner in this match. That's pretty impressive from just 4 service games, or 4.5. Second serve. No, it's going to be a first serve. Let's just clip the net. Forehand block return there from Francis, but I don't know if that was the right decision. Mind you, Jannick Sinner from a neutral position goes pretty big and too big because he's gone long, and we're going to have another break point, the second break point of the match for Francis Tiafoe here at 30-40. Interesting times. Second break point, none for Jannick thus far. And the first serve is long and wide, so that's helpful. How's your nerve? Both players here, 30-40. Francis coming in on that on the backhand. Decent depth on the return, but Jannick's dealt with that well. But that's a bit short there from Francis. Now they're exchanging backhands, cross-court. Slice there from Francis. That's a little unorthodox, I would suggest. And the forehand from Francis goes into the net when he should have and could have done so much better on that. We are back to deuce. Yeah, that forehand was not of the highest caliber, let's say, and Francis knows it. Okay, deuce, half an hour on the clock. Jannick down the tee, and it's another ace for Jannick Sinner. Is that Jannick serving, or is that Francis' lack of anticipation? On that particular serve, I might lean towards the latter, because I think he could have done better with that one. Just seemed to not read it at all. Game point here, Jannick Sinner, 4-all advantage. Goes well wide with that first serve. He has struggled a bit more on the first serve on the ad court of late. Okay, Jannick Sinner. Double fault, deuce. By the way, people in the live chat can let me know. Have him and Kalinskaya, are they over? Because I don't see either of them supporting each other's matches. Now, there may be reasons behind that, maybe through injuries, etc. But I haven't seen it since Wimbledon. So, yeah. Okay, this time again in the deuce court, the first serves are not a problem for Jannick, and he puts away that smash with consummate ease. Game point for the Italian. The caption comes up for the game duration, and it just says 0 minutes. Well, I don't think it's 0 minutes, that's for sure. It's probably over 5. Bit of a breeze. See the Italian flag there waving. This time, Jannick has no problem getting his first serve into the ad court, and it's another ace for the Italian as he takes a 5-4 lead. Let's have a quick look at the live chat. Let's see what I've been missing. Yes, the Spursy comments, Charlie Eccleshare. Brazy here saying we prefer a guy who's had decades of experience covering tennis. I think he may be Clara Puel's favorite journalist indeed. Dave here is not a fan of unforced errors. The definition, I mean, it is subjective. That's a fair point. Tiafoe is the underdog, but I think Francis feels more pressure than Jannick playing in Cincy. Perhaps, yeah. And also probably feels more pressure, not just because of playing in Cincy, but just because Jannick wins this title or not, it's not going to make or break his career. Whereas, of course, this is the highest level and the highest magnitude of a match for Francis thus far in his career, although you might argue the US Open semi-final of 2022 might better that. Callus Guy did a video with Felix yesterday. Okay, didn't know that. Do I enjoy playing doubles? Yeah, I do, Keen, I do, but it's not the same as singles. I prefer playing singles. I think the highs are higher and the lows are lower when playing singles. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's a nice relief, if you like. I see the comment here from Dave. But it's not the same. It's not the same. But it's a nice welcome relief. In fact, I haven't played doubles for a couple of months, maybe even longer, actually. And I wouldn't mind playing again sometime soon. Okay, Jannick Sinner here now, facing the serve of Francis Tiafoe. And Tiafoe wins the first point after a fairly lengthy rally. Jannick picking up the pace there on the backhand, but it wasn't enough to ultimately win the point after he errs on the forehand side. Carlos Moya tweeting? What is he tweeting about? Maybe he's responding to a tweet. Maybe something with Brad Gilbert. There's a bit of interaction here. My list for best one-handed backhands, let's say from 1980. Number 1, Federer. Number 2, I'm going to translate Brad Gilbert's words here. 1, Federer. 2, Stan Wawrinka. 3, Edberg. 4, McEnroe. 5, Ivan Lendl. Then it gets a bit tricky. There's also a comment here, Skuga meaning Gustavo Kurten, and Carlos Moore saying you're right. 3 backhand was amazing. Clay number 1 for that surface, but drops to 3 because on faster courts. Struggled a bit with a great one-hander for sure. And Carlos Moore has agreed with Brad. Okay, anyway, back to the match. Tiafoe here in a bit of bother here at 30 all on his serve, having had a 30-15 advantage. So at the moment, Jannick Sinner is just 2 points away from winning this first set. What happened on the previous point? I'm now watching it as we speak. It's a forehand winner from Jannick Sinner. And so he is 2 points away, 30 all. Please do hit the like button. It's a good first serve there from Tiafoe, and it's helping get game point. That was a nervy moment there for him, 40-30. Yeah, do hit the like button, please, people. See if we can get to 20 likes on this video. That would be amazing. Maybe amazing is a slight exaggeration. Goes out to the backhand side. There's a really good hold, that one, Francis. 5 games all. Let's have a quick look at the live chat, see what I've been missing. What motivated me to learn different languages, asks Keen. I mean, just basically living in respective countries, I guess. I do remember my first attempts at learning Spanish, and there was an Australian girl in the class, and she was a bit mean, and she was mocking me. I wouldn't say this was a motivation at all, but I do think about it sometimes when she was mocking my inabilities to get the basics in Spanish. I wonder where her Spanish is today. Probably not that far. Anyway, Jannick Sinner here with a lovely forehand winner to begin his opening service. Oh, sorry, his not opening service game at all. And at the beginning of his service game, I should say. Yeah, so that's me and languages. But yeah, just generally, it's a lot more fun when speaking to people. Yeah, I think that's fair enough, Super Dave. Brazy here, are you showing your age a bit here, Brazy? But yeah, very much so. I very much loved in Brazil. I was fortunate enough to be at the Rio Open this year, where he got a standing ovation from the crowd. Francis goes long there with a forehand, meaning 30 love to Jannick Sinner. What are we thinking about the US Open on the men's side? Who is the favorite? Let me know in the live chat. Who are you tipping to win the US Open right now? I think there are pros and cons to all the main contenders. Well, I say all the main contenders. For me, there's 3 main contenders. You know, others might think that Medvedev or Tsitsipas or Casper Ruud or maybe even Francis Tiafoe is a contender. That's a nice volley put away there from Francis. Yeah. But I don't see them as main contenders. That's not to say they can't win the title, Daniel Medvedev in particular. But he's lost back-to-back matches on a hard court. So, hardly the best form. Not won a title since Rome of last year, I believe. It's a nice forehand winner there from Jannick, +1, 40-15, 2 game points for the Italian. And it's an ace down the tee. Another ace from Jannick Sinner, bringing up 6-5. Have I missed anything in the live chat? Not a lot. Brazy. Dimitrov seems kind of like that. Carlos too, but too young at the moment. Novak, Carlos, Jannick, my contenders. Brazy. Brazy, if you don't mind me saying, you're not exactly sticking your neck out there. I want to see one name in that live chat as to who you think is winning the title. Keen, did you see my interview with Benny Hassan? Oh, I wonder how... Maybe he's playing tomorrow, actually. Let's have a quick look. Actually, I haven't seen the... Yeah, he's playing tomorrow, Benny Hassan, in the qualies. I haven't seen the results, really, from today. I know Liam Brody lost, but let's have a quick look at some of the US Open qualifying action and the results from today. Suspended. Oh, has there been some rain, has there? Looks like there's been some rain, so there's a lot of matches that have not finished. Oh, the Bonn Open winner, Hugo Dellien, is out. The number 8 seed as well. But of course, clay and hardcourt, big difference for him. What else is going on? Van Rijthoven, who's sort of gingerly making his way back to the tour. I know he was at a challenger recently, I'm going to say in Poland. Schwartzman getting a win. Nice. Obviously, his last US Open. So, yep. Rincon of Spain is out. Kukushkin is out. Okay. The veteran. Is it okay to call him a veteran? Anyway, losing 10-6 and deciding set tiebreak. De Jong. That makes total sense to me. him winning in straight sets. I have him making the main draw. Gasquet, is it his last US Open? But anyway, if it is, he's into the second round of qualifying after a straight sets win over Kudla. Cuevas, who I barely remember on the tour in the last year or two anyway, losing in straight sets to Van Ash. Paul Jubb. I think Fernley was, am I right in thinking Fernley was injured? Oh, Squire out to Budachaga. Okay. And Jaime Faria. That's unfortunate for the Portuguese. I wonder if there's any lasting effects of a wrist injury I saw him suffer from in Porto, but get well soon. Anyway, that's that. Thank you, Brazy. You saw my Spanish interviews with Hugo. Okay, back to the match here, though, because we are at a pretty important moment here at 5-6. That's going to land in, isn't it? Yes. How's he going to deal with this smash? Not bad. And that's going long. So 15 all. It was love 15 there on the Tiafoe serve. Do hit the like button, by the way. And if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. Tough moments here, though, still for Tiafoe. It's an excellent return from Jannick Sinner there, making it 15-30. France is having a look at the line. The big faux necklace hanging around Tiafoe's neck. Down the tee is a good serve. Should put this one away, and he does. Nice short angle there for Francis to take advantage of. Whipped that one to 30 all. Okay, Francis, where are you going with this one? You're going to clip the net. It's going to land back your side. So it's a second serve here for Jannick Sinner to look at. 30 all. 2 points away once again from the first set. Forehand return. Jannick here happy to rally until his opportunity arises. A slice there from Francis. Now Francis in a bit of trouble. No, but Jannick doesn't cedes that advantage, I would argue. But now he turns up again. Now it's Jannick Sinner down the middle there, Jannick. Not taking too many chances. Feels as though he can hang with Francis and then just take his chance when it arises. This is a pretty lengthy run. He's certainly over 10 shots so far. Now we're on the forehand of Francis. Tries to send Jannick the wrong way. Doesn't work. Excellent depth there from Jannick. More good depth from Jannick, but Francis is dealing with it. But doesn't deal with that one. The forehand goes into the net. And I'm pretty sure that was over 20 shots. Set point, Jannick Sinner. The crowd loving that. There's quite a few Tommy Paul lookalikes. 33 shots that rally. Wow. Feels like there's about 17 Tommy Pauls in the crowd. And probably none of them are. Okay, set point here. Francis Tiafoe, 30-40. Desperate for a first serve. Doesn't get it. So, second serve here. The first serve, 115 miles an hour. Second serve. What are we going to do with this one? We are going into the backhand. Oh, nice. I say backhand. Again, it was one of those sort of body serves, really, that Jannick took on the backhand, but sent it long. So it's deuce. Forehand return there into the net from Jannick Sinner. Good serve from Francis. And it's a game point for the tiebreak for Francis Tiafoe. And with this serve, you are going into the backhand. Forehand Francis. Forehand exchanges right now. Francis goes huge on that forehand, and I thought he was going to regret it. But anything but. It's a forehand winner off the racket of Francis Tiafoe. G's up the crowd, and we are into a tie break, ladies and gentlemen. Tie break, let's go. Look at this, this is huge. Reminds me of me and my pomp. Serves into the backhand. It's a second serve, and Francis goes for the second serve, return winner, but it goes wide. 1-0 Sinner. Tiebreak record for this year, 15-6 for Jannick, 15-12 for Francis, which, bearing in mind the year Francis has had, is probably not as bad as I might have imagined. Remember that tiebreak record that Francis had in 2022? I don't know how many tiebreaks it was in a row he won, but I think it was 10 plus. Anyway. Neither of those will be on the mind right now, although that's a nice first serve there from Francis Tiafoe that Jannick is unable to deal with. And it is 1-1. So 2 points thus far, 1 each, both remaining on serve. Tiafoe serving here. Goes out wide, but it is wide, so it's going to be a second serve. Forehand return, run around. Forehand winner, is that from Jannick Sinner? It is 2-1 to the Italian. For Jannick Sinner. So here's the mini break advantage. Where's he going with this serve? He's going down the tee, but he's gone long, so it's a second serve. Forehand return, backhand there from Jannick, all off balance. Can Francis take advantage of that? Thought about coming into the net, didn't do so. Short ball there from Francis. It's another short one as well, but Jannick is not punishing him thus far. Changing up direction, but Jannick deals with that really well, and Francis goes long. There were 1 or 2 opportunities there for Francis to turn the screw. Wasn't able to do so, and it's 3-1 Sinner. And it's Francis's turn to do a bit of hobbling there. I mean, he did turn the screw, to be fair, on that shot, but Jannick dealt with it so well. But points over 9 shots just goes to show that Jannick is benefiting there. He's winning 6 out of 8 on the points over 9 shots. I thought Jannick had gone long with that forehand, but he didn't. But he's gone long on the backhand, and we're back on serve, 2-3. Francis to serve at 2-3. Lots of comments in the live chat. I will come to you. Hi, Ghosty. I can see you there. I will come to you in a second. And now it is Sinner dumping one into the net off the serve of Francis, and with 3-3 at the changeover. But yeah, Hugo Delian out of qualifying. Liam Brody as well, out of qualifying. When's Lloyd Harris playing? Is he playing? Or maybe he doesn't need to. What's his ranking? Oh, he's okay. Probably in the main draw. He's top 100. So he's in the main draw, I guess. Anyway, 3-all. Backhand there from Francis. Decent depth from the American. And Jannick dunks a routine backhand into the net. So it's 4-3 Tiafoe. But I think there's been some rain in New York, hence they didn't finish a lot of these qualifiers today. What about on the women's side? I didn't check up on their results. Teichmann is down a set. Danilovic is up a break in the third on Gao. Zeynep Somnes has won her qualifying match. Nice. Okay, into the rally here at 4-3. Forehands exchanged, and that was big from Sinner, and Francis couldn't deal with it. 4-all. Sasha Vickery is out. Oy, oy, oy. Harmony Tan is out. Zidansik is out. Well, what goes up must come down. Heather Watson is through. Snigo is through. So, yeah. Okay, into the rally here at 4-all. Backhand to backhand right now. Now it's on the forehand of Francis, lifting up the pace a little bit. Jannick is struggling a little bit, but he's back on, regained his composure here. Is that going to disrupt things? Oh, wow, what a backhand that is from Jannick. But Francis defending, but he's not going to be defending that. 5-4 Jannick Sinner. Or perhaps I should say 4-5 Tiafoe. Over to you, Francis. Those shots were just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually something had to give. Well, 2 service holds for Francis, and he'll have a set point for himself. If he loses one of these 2, then Jannick will have a set point. Not his first set point. He's already had one already. Backhand return here from Jannick. Jannick there, interestingly, a little bit further back there on the return, trying to avoid the body serve and the punishment that can come with it, which has affected him quite badly in this first set, I would argue. Forehand to forehand. Right now, pretty neutral, although it's... Oh, that's a lovely backhand from Francis, but good depth there from Jannick. You've got to get out of that forehand exchange. You've got to go up the line there, and it doesn't matter anyway because he's put it wide. And it is 2 set points for Jannick Sinner, the first of which will come on the Francis serve. That was a lovely backhand there for Francis, but the depth there from Jannick on the defense there was what caught Francis out. But I think he's got to go down the line there at some point. See, look at Jannick here. He's wary of that body serve. And by taking just a slight step back, you can't punish him so much with a body serve. Anyway, backhand from Francis goes long, and Jannick Sinner steals. Is that fair? Takes the first set. 7-6. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, I'll be looking at your comments in the live chat. Thanks for tuning into this watch along. While there's a break in play, here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks, including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material, such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered. Whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. Indeed, indeed, indeed. So I'm now catching up on the live chat. I apologize that I've been neglecting you in recent minutes or maybe a little bit longer. Let's have a quick look at this one from Super Dave. It's probably a bit early in his career, but I'm rooting for Ben Shelton to win the US Open. His performances in majors have been interesting. Perhaps he catches fire in New York. Ben Shelton, I think, will win a Grand Slam one day. Whether that's this year's US Open or not, I'm not so sure. Ghosty here just in time. Looks like from the stats, Jannick's really walloping serve line, 10 aces. Yeah, I know. Those serves have been pretty impressive, but he wasn't really threatening too much on the Francis serve until the tiebreak. I think it was just towards the end of that set, maybe just taking that step back because there were some body serves that were hurting Jannick, and he didn't garner a single break point in the set until Francis's last service game at 5-6. And there was a set point for Jannick at that point at 30-40. And then, of course, in the tiebreak, he also ate into that serve a little bit. Brazy was suggesting that Foe looked a bit tight in the tiebreaker. I would say there's been a few occasions when Francis has looked a bit tight today. But the counter-punching indeed was pretty impressive. Hi, Ghosty, once again, just saying hi to all in the chat. Big up Ghosty says, Brazy indeed. Yeah, well, ominous. I think Foe needs this first set more than Sinner. I would agree with that. We'll see how Francis gets on at the beginning of this second set. He is already up 30 love. He should make it 40 love, but he doesn't. Another volley from Francis into the net. 30-15. Packed house, indeed. That is cool. We always like to see packed houses at tennis matches. Thank you, Luki. Luki, where are you from, by the way? Are you Polish? Am I imagining that? Yeah. You like Sinner a lot, Ghost. I didn't know you liked Sinner a lot, but you got to back your band, big boy Foe. Well, Francis is already 30 all on his serve right now. Indeed, indeed, we've got to be happy for Zeynep, that's for sure. Yeah, maybe you're right there, Brazy. Maybe you're right. That would be great, Luki. That would be great. So you are from Poland. Nice. Has Jannick, is that official, Super Dave? Super Dave there suggesting that Sinner must be on a downer since he got dumped by his girlfriend. I'm not sure about that. You're very kind, Brazy. Yeah, Ghosty here asking the same question. Maybe I'll leave that on the screen for a little while so others who can come in and out of the chat can posit their thoughts. We are at deuce here on the Tiafoe serve. As I say, I think Jannick is making some inroads on that serve compared to where we were at for most of the first set. Yeah, Jannick's got to be the heavy favorite now. And Jannick hasn't been moving fantastically well, but has he really been demanded thus far? Not exceptionally. I mean, we saw that stat regarding points. I think it was over 6 shots, was it? Where Jannick was doing pretty well. But most of those rallies involved just gently pushing. Not everyone, don't get me wrong, but there was quite a few rallies where it was just like Jannick gradually turning the screw rather than pulling out any fireworks. As I see, a double fault there from Francis, meaning the game point has come and gone and we're back to deuce. Oh, lovely backhand volley there from Francis. That was textbook stuff from the American, and he's got another game point. I've got this big bar of chocolate here, ladies and gentlemen. I am tempted to have a piece, but me and chocolate, we're sort of frenemies in a way. It's never just one piece. Goes long on the first serve there, Francis. What are we all consuming this evening or this afternoon, depending on where you are, or even morning if maybe you're watching in Australia? Backhand there from Francis goes long, and another game point comes and goes. Juice number 3. Clips the net, still lands in, so it's going to be another first serve. Drop shot there from Francis. That's not going to work. And Jannick's going to put that away with consummate ease. And it's a break point for the Italian. By the way, for those of you just tuning in, do hit the like button. Let me know in the live chat, are we at 20 likes yet? Just the second break point of the match here for Jannick Sinner. Didn't take advantage of the first one, which of course was at set point at 5-6, 30-40. Didn't matter though, because he won the tie break. Now they're exchanging forehands. And that forehand has gone long from Francis Tiafoe. Jannick Sinner breaks, and now he leads by a set. 1-love with a break. Okay, let's have a quick look at the live chat. I wonder how fast the courts will be in the US at the US Open. Yes, well, I've been hearing that they're going to be pretty quick this year, but time will tell. Do I follow any other sports other than tennis and football? Keen asks. As a kid or teenager, I would say, and a little bit older than that, I used to be huge into Formula One, but now I don't care. They messed about so much with the sport that it just wasn't a sport anymore in my eyes. So it's a bit like, wrestling in a way, and in the way it's manufactured. So I went off the sport in a pretty big way. Yeah, it is indeed. It's a big chocolate bar. Ghosty, you're so healthy. He's so healthy. Ghosty, I do want to know, have you ever smoked in your life, by the way, Ghosty? Sin is just too good, as he says, though. I agree with that. Yeah, he doesn't get the net that often. Is his net game really that good? Yeah, maybe, Dave. Maybe we disagree on this one. Sounds like he's on the IPAs anyway. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, Ghosty, have you ever been a cigarette smoker? I don't know. You always seem to be so healthy. The rest of us are eating chocolate and chips and burgers, and Ghosty's munching on some grass. And I don't mean that. I don't mean the Dan Evans kind of. Yeah. Anyway, Sinner here serving. 30-love. Lovely forehand winner there from the Italian. And we're into the rally here. That's a nice forehand there from Francis Tiafoe, forcing the error off the racket of Jannick. Somebody there with a 2019 US Open hat. I was in the US. I was in New York for those finals. Naomi Osaka against Serena Williams on the Saturday. I remember landing just in time to sort of catch that on the TV. I actually went to the final the next day, which also went the distance, with Rafa Nadal emerging the winner after 5 sets against Daniil Medvedev in a pretty epic final. Another ace from Jannick Sinner. 40-15. Backhand to backhand right now. 2 game points here for the Italian for a 2-love lead. And arguably one hand on the trophy. Good depth there from Jannick. And the error comes off the racket of Francis Tiafoe. And indeed, we do have a 2 games to love lead for the Italian world number 1. Which slam have I watched live the most? I presume you mean in person. Well, it's not Australia, because I've only been to the Australian Open once, and that was 1 day session and 1 night session on Rod Laver in 2006. The night session was particularly memorable. It involved a 5-set match between Tommy Haas. Oh, there's another volley there from Francis at the net. I forget, I think, who was it was saying he's decent at the net? I mean, that's 3 occasions when he's been at the net, and he's had very winnable shots that he's dumped into the net today. 2006, I saw Tommy Haas in a 5-setter with Roger Federer. I saw Sammy Stosur play Martina Hingis, and this was like Stosur's breakout tournament. I'm pretty sure she was still a teenager at the time. Both, of course, those matches were singles. So it's definitely not Australia. Then you could say the French Open. I was at the French Open final in 2018. I was at the one of the semi-finals in 2019. I was at the final again in 2022, the men's final in 2022 between Tsitsipas and Djokovic. Sorry, 2021 that was. And then I was at the final again in 2022. So if we just go years, how many years did I attend? Australia, 2006, done. French Open, 2018, 2019, 2021, 2022. So 4 years I was at the French Open. US Open, 2016, 2019, and 2022. So 3 US Opens. Look at that. You see what he's doing on the return there by taking that step back, nullifying the body serve. Didn't work out on that occasion, but you see what I mean by taking that step back. The body serve is very effective for those that are attacking, as in hugging the baseline. And it was causing Jannick an issue, I would say, in the first 3 or 4 service games of this first set. And then Wimbledon, 2003 was my first Wimbledon. I saw Leighton Hewitt lose in 4 sets to... That was a pretty bad slice there from Jannick that he pretty much gave up on. I think he thought it was going long, but it didn't. But it didn't matter because France is still on the point. Yeah, 2003. Leighton Hewitt lost to Damien Kust's favorite player, or one of his favorite players, Ivo Karlovic, in 4 sets. I think it was like the first time in about 30 odd years, or maybe 30 or almost 40 years. Oh, that return has gone wide. So Tiafoe is held 2-1. Yeah. So 2003 Wimbledon. 2016, I was there on the middle Saturday, court 1. Saw Novak Djokovic go out of Wimbledon at the 3rd round stage. That's kind of unheard of, isn't it, really? 2019, I was there again for the men's semis. And then I had a grounds pass in 2023. So 4 French, 4 Wimbledons, 1 Australia, and 1 US Open in terms of years. I hope that, 1 Australian Open, 3 US Opens. Hope that answers the question to some extent, at least. Oh, Ghosty, it sounds like you were a smoker back in the day. Lukey here giving away his age of 35. Jane. Yeah. Lukey here admitting to his ice cream and chocolate interest. Okay, Ghosty said he saw. Which year was that you were Indian Wells, Ghosty? Why haven't you been back? I think Ghosty should be at every tennis tournament, spreading his words of wisdom. But you don't strike me as a Federer fan, though, Ghosty, so I'm kind of surprised by that comment. By the way, for those of you tuning in and wondering whether you're going to get much post-match analysis from me today, you're not. You're not. It's almost 1:30 in the morning here. And last night I was listening mainly to Damien's commentary for the Sinner Zverev match, which, by the way, had a very funny comment from Sean in the chat at one point, which made me laugh about the love of God. That was when it went to a third set. And I know it was 7-6 in the third. Well, I do think the women's side of the US Open has changed in the last 48 hours. The results of Iga Swiatek, including the wins from her, you know, the tight wins, or the tight win over Andreeva, the fact that she got broken in the first game of 3 matches in a row, Kostyuk, Andreeva, and then Sabalenka. The gap between her and Sabalenka on a fast, hard court as well. Rybakina's woes continuing. When was the last time Rybakina won a big title? Is it Indian Wells of last year? Big title being 1,000 or more. Am I right on that one? I mean, you could argue Stuttgart. I know it's a 500, but given the field, it's pretty mammoth. But the last 48 hours has changed hugely, because 72 hours ago, I was fully on board with saying, you know, is this the most open US Open in years? Well, Sabalenka has eased that debate, if you like, or almost put an end to that debate for now. That's what I would say. It looks like Luki is suggesting that Rome. Yes, sorry, Rome. She won Rome, didn't she? Yeah, I forgot about that. Well done, Luki. Anyway, Tiafoe here cannot afford to lose his serve once again. Okay, here we are into the valley here. Love 15 on the Francis serve. Backhand from Jannick. Ooh, a net cord there for Francis, and the forehand, perhaps distracted by that net cord from Jannik Sinner, goes long. So Francis there getting out of jail, I would argue. 15 all. Into the net, and it goes long and wide. So a second serve here for Jannik Sinner to look at. Runaround forehand, because he's got that, he's taken that step back, and he's also giving him a few runarounds as well. But Jannik has gone long on the forehand, and it's 30-15. That service return dynamic, for me, may have changed the match. That may have been a coaching thing as well. It may have been something that Jannik picked up on himself, or it may have been some advice that he took. But those body serves that were so effective for Francis Tiafoe for most of the first set, that effectivity is gone. 40-15 though for Francis here. Don't forget, he didn't face a single break point in 5 service games in the first set. It was only the 6th one where he faced that first break point. And then struggled on serve to some extent in the tiebreak. I think he won just 3 points on serve in that tiebreak. Okay, second serve here, and it's a double fault from Francis Tiafoe. He's looking a bit forlorn at the moment. Down a set and a break to the world number 1 and warm favourite, maybe even hot favourite for today's final. Second serve points won. Jannick Sinner's won all 4 of his second serve points won in this second set. Francis has won just 40%. Second serve here for Francis. Backhand into the backhand, and the backhand goes long and wide from Francis Tiafoe from 2 game points, and looking at easing himself back into this second set. He's now at deuce. So, Jannick Sinner here, backhand return. Now it's Francis on the attack, but that was a short ball that Francis should be doing better with on the backhand side. And it is now a break point for Jannick Sinner. It was a decent first serve from Francis. Had the short ball to deal with, should have put it away, didn't put it away, and it's now a break point. First serve is long. By the way, if Sabalenka has now propelled herself into the number 1 position in terms of the US Open, if Jannick wins this, is he then the favourite? Oh, is that it? Has. Lucky boy there, Francis. Net cord very much going his way, and ends up becoming a winner as he saves break point. Will we be looking back on this point at the end of the match and going, wow, Francis Tiafoe won this match? There's a few people in the crowd going, oh, you lucky boy. Backhand return from Francis. From Jannick. Oh, he's put that volley wide. And again, Francis at the net. I saw someone in the live chat earlier saying Francis at the net is a demon. Not for me. Not for me. Should have put that one away. Second break point of this game. The first serve goes long, so it's a second serve here for Jannick Sinner to look at. Backhand return. Backhand from Francis. Backhand from Jannick. This is looking good, I would argue. Oh, I was going to say it's looking good for Jannick, but it doesn't in the end. It's Jannick who errs, and we're back to deuce. I was arguing that Jannick was starting to look good in that rally just because lengthy rallies have tended to go the Italians' way. In this set, this shows you how much pressure Francis has been on his serve. 27 points on the Francis serve, 9 on the serve of Jannick Sinner. Jannick has lost just 1 point in his 2 service games thus far. That's a good forehand there from Francis. Oh, that's going to land in, but that's nicely dealt with though by Francis. Really well dealt with. That was really tricky, that overhead from so far out on the court. And he rightly gets the round of applause from the crowd. Backhand return there is good from Jannick Sinner, and we're back to deuce. How many deuces is that, and how many minutes is that? Deuce number 4. This is looking huge, this game. I mean, if Jannick breaks again, it's a smash here for Francis. He's won that smash. It didn't look clean or confident, although it was very effective, and he's got a game point here for 3-2. I mean, if he meant that, and he might have done, then it was very smart. Backhand return there from Jannick, and the backhand from Tiafoe goes into the net. So we are back for our 5th deuce of this game, ladies and gentlemen. 1 hour, 22 minutes on the clock. Some concerned looks in the crowd. I'm guessing they are fans of Francis and hoping that he can stretch this match out somewhat. Second serve here. Into the body. And that time it worked because Jannick was just a bit too close to the baseline. And we've got a game point now for Francis Tiafoe. Oh, that doesn't look good though. Came into the net again. It was a half volley pickup that didn't land in. And we're back at deuce for number 6. The deuce number 6 of this game. Second serve. Run around forehand return. Good depth on that one. And it's forced the error, I would argue, off the racket of Francis. And we have another break point now for Jannick Sinner. Is this going to be the decisive moment? Remember, we had a net cord, an incredible net cord from Francis Tiafoe on one of the previous 2 break points. This one being the 3rd for the Italian. First serve goes long. Second serve. Jannick ready to attack this. He does so with reasonable effect. Now he's on the backhand to backhand. Now it's on the forehand of Jannick. Just again picking up speed. Backhand to backhand now exchange. Jannick changing direction. That slice, that forehand slice there had incredible depth on it from Francis. Francis is now picking up the pace, but it's a forehand winner down the line from Jannick Sinner. Probably the shot of the match. And it has put him in an incredibly commanding position in this second set. He leads by a set 4-1 with a double break. Wow. Let's have a quick break and then I will come to you in the live chat. So, what have I missed in the live chat? Jake announcing his arrival. Hi, guys. Can't count on her health. I guess that's referring to Rebecca, says Lukey. Ghosty as well. Welcoming Jake into the chat. Brazy, yes, indeed. Damien and I did a match, a 5-setter between Sinner and Zverev last year that was still going at about 7 in the morning. It was an epic in terms of length, if not quality. Pickle Juice comment here from Ghosty. Garbinia Muguruza is back playing on Ash. I'm guessing that's an exhibition this week. Ghosty here saying, wait, Muguruza's back, but I'm guessing that's an exhibition. Just an exo, yeah, to kick off the US Open. Nice. Okay, Jannick Sinner, winner indeed. And it does feel like this match is over. Okay, so Sinner here, 15 love on his serve. As they are exchanging the rally down the center of the court, Jannick tries to pick up the pace on the backhand, doing so pretty effectively, so much so that Francis errs, and it is 30 love to the Italian. Jake and everybody else, by the way, please hit the like button. This video will probably get about 1,000 views, okay? But it won't get 1,000 likes. It's an ace there from Jannick Sinner. He should be getting some love for that. There's so many aces today, 40 love. Good serve there from Jannick Sinner. Nothing Tiafoe can do about that. And he's held to love. 5-1 Jannick Sinner leads. So, one game away from the Cincinnati title. Jannick was not able to retain his Canada crown after losing to Andrei Rublev. But en route to the final here, he's beaten Rublev and also Zverev. And he may well be making up for that loss. And in fact, we saw some stats after that win over Zverev. It means that no matter what happens to Jannick at the US Open, he will be the world #1 after that tournament, as Tiafoe puts a forehand into the net and Jannick is turning the screw in the biggest possible way right now. Love 15 on the Tiafoe serve. Wonderful return there from Jannick Sinner. Wow. And his love 30, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a second serve as well here for Jannick to look at. Backhand return, backhand from Tiafoe, backhand slice now from each player. But that's a decent slice there from Tiafoe, but it's not enough to put him in charge of the point. Now it's a forehand slice from Jannick, and Tiafoe cannot deal with that. That was a footwork issue there. Francis needed just to adjust his position slightly to give him a slightly easier slice there. But he wasn't able to get his feet in the right position. And we have 3 match points for Jannick Sinner for his first Cincinnati title. 3 championship points. Where are we going with this serve? Francis Tiafoe hits the net and goes wide. Second serve here. 1 hour, 31 minutes on the clock. Backhand return for Jannick is good. Forehand is really good. Backhand to backhand right now. Where's your belief, Francis? Well, I tell you what, it's enough to win that point. 15-40. Second championship point here for Jannick Sinner. Francis to serve. Goes out wide and he's gone long. 30-40. Not much longer now potentially on this video, so please do hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. Championship point number 3. On return. Backhand return. Lands in. Forehand to forehand right now down the center of the court. Francis goes big. He now has a backhand to put away. Doesn't quite do it. Has he? Oh, I thought Jannick had hit a winner there on the backhand side down the line, which would have been an epic way to win the title. But he went long, so it's deuce. Okay, deuce. Tiafoe to serve. Out wide. Forehand. No. Let's go again. Forehand return. Tiafoe goes into the net, but doesn't need to hit the volley because the forehand is long. And that's all 3 championship points saved. And now Francis has a game point. To the net on the first serve. Forehand return. It's nice play from Francis, but it's decent play as well from Jannick. Good depth there from Francis, forcing the error. 5-2. So, 3 championship points saved there by Francis. Funny little moment there at the net as Francis was waiting for Jannick to cross his bow. Was a pride hold. Yes, you might be right. You might be right. I think it's time we had a quick look at this video. Just one in English. The draw for the French Open was made today. You're going to be playing Kalinskaya.
Oh. I just said I don't want to know.
Should we leave it there, Vinny? If that was your only question, is it tennis?
I mean, just, okay,
no,
just...
I don't want to understand that. I don't want to know.
No problem.
Yeah.
We can move on, but
Thank you.
good luck.
Thanks.
Any more questions in French? C'est bon?
Tu reviendras à Strasbourg. Oui, c'est sûr.
Just one in English. The draw for the French Open was made today. You're going to be playing Kalinskaya.
Oh.
I know you guys are big fans of that one, so I thought I'd get it. Ah, dear. Anyway, that's out there in the YouTube ether, so do check that out as one of our shorts. And I have uploaded already. As soon as this show is over, ladies and gentlemen, I have a video waiting to just press publish on, which I think you're going to enjoy. I could even make it a premiere. I haven't decided yet. It could be a premiere after this match is finished. Maybe I'll do that. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, hopefully you'll enjoy that interview. So, Sinner here to serve 5-2, serving for the title. He's already had 3 championship points on the Tiafoe serve. Ah, Brazy, you got to wait and see. Got to wait and see, my friend. Ooh, it's a lovely forehand winner there from Jannick Sinner. Maybe I will make it a premiere, so we can watch it together. $30 love here, Jannick Sinner. $30 love becomes $40 love, and he now has 3 championship points once again. Will he need all of those? Goes down the tee, unreturnable serve. Jannick Sinner, hands aloft, wins the title by beating Francis Tiafoe here in Cincinnati. 7-6, 6-2. Nice exchange at the net, it seems like a nice exchange at the net. Yes, there's smiles all around, I think. And Jannick Sinner, anyway, has won another 1,000 title. Another 1,000 title in this part of the year, albeit last year was in Canada, this year in Cincinnati, in 1 hour and 36 minutes. 7-6, 6-2. Crucial moment of the match really was the end of that first set. Francis had not faced a single break point on his serve, effectively using that body serve, I would argue, in particular. And it seemed like Jannick made a slight adjustment on his return position. And therefore, got a first break point. It actually was a set point, making it 30-40. Didn't take advantage of that, but carried on that threat into the tiebreak. Managed to break down the Francis serve during that tiebreak. Carried on the momentum into the second set. And yeah, that body serve was no longer an issue. Looking at the stats, 29 winners off the racket of Jannick Sinner, just 13 off the racket of Francis, and 24 unforced errors apiece after a 1 hour 36 minute encounter. And Jannick Sinner now will carry on and take that confidence into the US Open. Physically, it didn't look like too much of a big deal for him today. We saw some of the travails he had in earlier matches, particularly against Zverev in the previous round, where the hip did seem to hinder him a little bit. Good news today is that wasn't stretched so much, and we didn't see it become an issue today. And now is he the favorite for the US Open? Is he the favorite? Not sure. Yeah, so that brings that to a close. I am going to make this particular US Open video that I have in the pipeline a premiere. So come and join me for that very, very soon. Let's make it Tuesday, August the 20th. And let's go for 2:15. So in 20 minutes from now, come and join me. I will be in the live chat to enjoy a very, very, very special interview with the man behind the scenes at the US Open for the last 20 years. Let's have a quick listen, though, to Jannick Sinner.
I'm very happy about today's match. It was very tough mentally. He had such an amazing run here, and I tried to do my best today. It was, as I said, we both were quite tired from yesterday. We both felt a lot of tension, but I'm very glad about my level of play today, especially in the important moments.
And your mentality has just been outstanding this week. If you look at the challenges that you've had physically as well, what are you most proud of this week?
Yeah, how I handle the situation on the court. I mean, it's been a tough week. Many, some ups and downs, which is normal to have. But how I handle the very important moment in each match is I'm very happy.
How much has your confidence grown just a week ahead of the final Grand Slam of the year?
No, for sure it's important to recover, to be ready for New York. This is our main goal here for this US swing. I'm very happy, to be in a position where I am, and just trying to keep going mentally. Having this hunger to keep playing, and hopefully I can show some good tennis also in New York.
Congratulations, enjoy.
So he said that he did feel a bit tired, but he also thought that Francis was a little tired as well. I'm just making the thumbnail for the show that I really hope you all tune in for. It'll be live in just over 15 minutes from now. And yeah, I really hope you tune in for that. The secrets of the US Open. And I'm going to upload the thumbnail as well right now. And yeah, I'll see you all very, very soon. Thanks for joining us today. Do hit that like button. Of course, if you're new to the channel, do hit subscribe. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. And see you all in about 15 minutes. In the meantime, you know the drill. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.